Welcome to the Blk Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today we have an amazing guest with us. We have with us a writer slash director, Abdul T. Sesay. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Kevin. How are you doing?
Good, bro. Can't complain. Can't complain. First and foremost, at the beginning of every episode, I like to begin with a very simple question. Some might find it difficult to answer, but it's a very simple question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. And that question is, who is Abdul T. Sesay?
Oh, Abdul T. Sesay he's a writer, he's a director, he's a producer, he's a family man, a father, son, sibling, creative force, and a person that loves to give to his community.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I love that. You slipped in a little bit of the personal and mixed in, your creative as well. And I love that. But the reason why I asked that question is I like to humanize the people that I interview and get to know who they are as a person first before we dive into what it is that they do creatively. But as you said, you are a writer, you are a director, a producer. You wear many hats, and you also have your own production company.
Yes.
How did you first get into writing? Let's start there.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I first got into writing. I'm actually like rapping, right? So this is like when you're like, I'm in junior high and I'm writing rhymes and everything. And
Yeah.
I was I was kind of like the Jay-Z and Biggie approach where I didn't write anything down on paper. It was just everything in my head, Eventually,
Right.
as I got older, I started writing on paper and everything. And so what showed me that I actually had like talent in it, it was I was in this class, in my 12th grade class, my English class, and my teacher, like, I was like a class clown. So my teacher didn't rock with me, to be honest, you know what I'm saying? And so she had like, we had to do like a 6-page essay or something like that, assignment. And so I did the assignment and everything. And then after the class was over, and we turned it in and everything, like a few days later, she's like, Abdul, let me talk to you after class. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And then and then she was like, Abdul, your essay was wonderful. I told some story about, this is at the time when HIV was very prevalent. I'm not saying that it's not now, but I'm just saying this is when it was just like, wow, this was like it was very huge, and she was like, I love this. I want to enter it in a contest, and in a writing contest. And so that's when I first like start getting like, all right, I might be okay at this. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. How long did you rap? How long were you writing rhymes?
Oh man, so I was rapping, man. Yeah, I kid you not, man. I rapped from like 8th grade to like fudge, man. I rap from 8th grade to like, man, college, and
Okay.
and then from college, I got into production because so I had a recording studio. I used to I had projects out, everything. I was in beat battles in like LA and Phoenix and one in New York, and I was in Atlanta. I mean, yeah, I was in all them tracks, the showcases, all that. So I got into production because of my writing, because I didn't want anyone to make beats. It's not that I didn't want anyone to make beats for me. I didn't want to pay for beats. So I was like, all right, let me make my own beats. So that's how I got into that.
Yeah. No, it's crazy that your start is very similar to my start, because
okay.
I also rapped, and
Okay.
I was also a part of the circuit, moved around, did a whole bunch of freestyle battles here, New York, Miami, all over the place, man.
Right.
And yeah, I pursued rapping for a very long time as well. I didn't really hang up the mic until I was about 32, man.
I feel you, man.
I realized one night I was on stage, you performing live and doing all these live events, and you start to look around and you're like, man, what am I doing on stage with these 18-year-olds?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it though. There's nothing wrong
No,
with it. If it's in you, it's in you. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
But
yeah,
at that time, it was kind of frowned upon to be the old guy or the older guy that's rapping. You know what I'm saying?
right, right, right.
Today is more welcomed and understanding, and you can pursue this, you know, that career for a lot longer than you could, you know,
Back
maybe
then, right? Yeah,
early 2000s, 2010s, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. It led us to where we are today, right?
right. Exactly. It's part of the journey, bro.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And that helped build you up as a writer to get to where you are today as a writer,
absolutely.
which segues into, um, once you were writing and constantly writing, what got you into TV and film?
Okay, so all right, so back in 2015, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna see if I could just you know, write something, you know. So I wrote a short, which is which is now the Pushover, right? Right, which is my full feature. So I wrote a short, and I wrote it like in 2015, and then I didn't really share it with anyone, but in 2017, you know, I got up with some friends and co-workers of mine, and then we did a reading, like a round table, like in a library in DC. And so from there, I was like, yo, let's shoot this thing. So my partner Darren Murray, he was like, all right, let's do it. So we started, you know, we started like start shooting it. This is 2017, and it's like, you know, at that time you don't really have resources. So if you don't have resources, you have to be resourceful, right? So what we did was, like I said, I linked up with some coworkers and stuff like that, and they're not actors, but they're helping me out, you know. And so we start shooting, and we start shooting on my crib. But the thing about it is, like, I had bought these RE lights, you know, the 600, I think it
Yeah,
was 650 plus Fresnel lights. They're like $1,000 lights, you know. So, but I bought them used, so I got them for like 800 something. So I bought two of them. Me and my man, we didn't know anything about lighting. Like we had it all flat. Like everything was just all the lights were just aimed
face.
in one direction. No 3-point lighting, nothing. We didn't know
Right.
anything about dimming lights. It was just full blast. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know anything about color temperature, and we shot on our, you know, our Canons, and then we were just like, all right, and the joint looked like a, you know, like a game show and stuff. I mean, it was like the lighting was just bad, man. But so after some time, you know, we had some scenarios where some people would come, certain people wouldn't show up, and because you know you're not paying them, so they're just like they're doing you a favor.
Right.
So we just kind of canned it, you know. And then since then, I did like I did like several other projects of my own, like two shorts that were in the film festival, like It Could Be You, and another one is called Good Night's Rest. And some of
Mm.
them, you know, both of them won several awards, and I've just been a part of just going to other, you know, going to other people's, going on set with other people and just helping them shoot, whether I'm helping DP,
Right.
gaffing, or
Yeah.
you know, script supervisor, whatever they needed me for. So that's really how the journey really began for me, you know.
Okay. So a lot of your experience comes from working hands on and learning on the fly as you go.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, and also, and another thing I did was like I started going to like I started joining script writing classes, right? And so
Mm.
I'll be online, and I would. And first, no, first it was I was going in person. So there was one in Baltimore, and there was one in like Arlington, Virginia. And
Okay.
so at that time I lived in Laurel, so probably going to Arlington, Virginia is probably about a 45, 50
Yeah.
minute drive, right? So I'll drive out there like it would be like around 7:30. I'll be like the only one I'll be late. I'll be the only one that's late. You know, I coming in that joint, they're already like reading the script and everything. And so
Right.
anyway, in these you know screenwriting classes, people will bring like you know their script, and you can read like maybe like 10 pages from the script, and everybody will have a part, and they'll read a part, whatever the case may be.
Mm.
So you know, so I was going there because I was just trying to figure out like how to format because I didn't know how to format. My whole thing was just about all right. I had it like a play, like so you would have the main character's name and then
Yeah.
you know colon, then dialogue, and then we have action. You would put it in brackets, and You know what I'm saying? It kind of written like a play, you know, and that's not the right format, you know what I'm saying? Not
Right.
screenplay format. So I would ask, I would ask people like, hey, how you format it, and and they, there was code, man. It was like, yeah, just gotta Google it, like everybody, just, like no one's just like no, I was just hoping somebody, I ain't gonna lie, I did want somebody to hold my hand, just like, hey, this is what you gotta do, but nah, they weren't with that, so.
Right.
So I went to the one in Baltimore. I was asking them questions, and that's probably about 25 minutes away from me, 20, 30 minutes. And they was like, yo, you can read this book, read that book, read this book. And I was like, all right, dope. And so from there, I was just like, all right, no one's
Started.
gonna sit down with me. So I was like, all right, let me figure it out. And that's how I learned how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so probably one of the first books you read was probably Save the Cat.
Yeah, it was. It was. It
Yeah.
was actually, yeah.
And I'm sure, and there's several other books, but Save the Cat is the most well known and the most widely used or the widely referenced book when it
Right.
comes to story structure and actually writing and breaking things down, story structure and developing your beats and character development and all of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and then so I'm glad that you mentioned that, in your journey, you went to some of these classes and some of your peers were like, just Google it or, go on YouTube and you find all the answers there.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and a part of what I'm trying to do with the Black Script is be able to centralize a lot of that information or at least collect enough information to where you can just go to one location and pretty much pick up what it is that you need to know to begin. And then, maybe some things on the intermediate and advanced level, but at least know where to start. And no matter what field that you're trying to pursue, whether it's in TV and film. So I'm trying to get people away from getting those answers of, you know what I'm saying? Just Google it
Yeah.
or just YouTube it or,
Right.
do your research online. Yeah, you can do your research online, but come to the Black Script and you'll be able to get a lot more information a lot quicker in one location. But um,
Yeah, and it's a dope site, man. I've already like that. Like downloaded scripts from your site. It's definitely dope. It's definitely a dope resource, man, for sure.
yeah, most definitely. And for those that's watching, for what Abdul was saying is that there's a script library on there. There's well over 100 scripts that you can download for free. They're TV shows, they're pilots. There's film screenplays as well, feature films, and a few independent films as well. And you can actually download them, turn on that your favorite movie and or favorite TV show, and read along as you watch it, and you can actually see how some of these writers wrote their screenplay and how it was brought to life on the TV screen or on film, and kind of get a gist as to, okay, so this is how I need to write it, this is the pace I need to write it, and this is what I need to include, what when I'm referring to certain emotions and certain actions, so on and so forth. um,
Exactly, and also, man, like there's some scripts in there that you just can't find anywhere. So you have some exclusive stuff. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some more, man. I keep digging, and I'm going to continue to dig. And every time I find something new, something fresh that not many people are going to have, I'm definitely going to showcase it and put it on the site. And it's available again. It's available for free. I can't claim any of that information. It's not mine. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. But it's for you guys to go on and learn how to write and see how some of your favorite writers, some of your favorite TV shows and movies were written. But moving forward, okay. So in one of our outside conversations, and I believe you mentioned it recently, a little bit earlier, we met at the PG Film Festival, and
Yes.
you were pitching and showcasing another film. What was the name of that film?
Yeah. So that film was called "It Could Be You."
Okay.
We had it screened out there. It was a
Hmm.
short film, and it's about two brothers that encounter a homeless man, and the youngest of the two shows disdain for the homeless, and so until a story is shared that changes their lives forever. And
Hmm.
and it's basically a story just about, like, of course, the typical, don't judge a book by its cover, but it's a very engaging story because it touches on like mental health, PTSD for for veterans,
Right.
and yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's just, I mean, it's a touching story, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't get a chance to check it while we were there, but once I met you and we were having a discussion, we were all kind of huddled up at the end of the day. I do recall a point in that conversation where I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he approached you.
Ty,
Ty. Yes,
yeah.
he approached you and he told you that you had an excellent film, and he was speaking to you in terms of potentially getting funding through the military, because there's a certain aspect of it, like you said, that deals with veterans.
Right, because
And
he's a veteran. Yeah, because he's
right,
about 20 plus year veteran. So it really
right,
hit home for him. And
yeah,
he was trying to set something up through the VA, yeah, for the film.
right,
Yeah.
absolutely. My question to you is: were you able to track down any information to get that funding, or to
Oh,
to push it further?
well, so nothing has materialized as of yet, but sometimes these things, it takes time. So
Right.
just all you can do is put in the work, and then sometimes your work travels for you,
Mhm.
and so we'll see what happens.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad that I brought it up. Hopefully, somebody is watching might have some information for you as to how you go about doing that, and maybe we somehow, some way we can make it happen.
Right, and
Um,
also I forgot with the main theme. It's also about homelessness too, man. That's the main
yes.
thing. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And
mental health, homelessness, and again PTSD for veterans. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and also, just so you know, that there's another avenue that you could probably try to reach out to. BET Plus has a show that they do called The Couch, and it deals with a lot of mental health issues and a lot of stigmas that that relate to mental health. And you know they create films that kind of involve that, those kind of talking points. And so they have a new project that deals with vitiligo. They've had another
Oh,
project in the past um, that it just deals with a lot of mental health topics, and it just gets people talking, and it's just another avenue that maybe you could reach out and see if that's a place where you can potentially share your project.
yeah. I definitely consider that. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you recently, well, I don't know how recent, but in speaking to you, you've relocated to LA to fully pursue your dreams of getting into the TV and film industry. How's that experience been for you?
Oh man, it's been great, man. I I moved out here in back in July of 2023.
Okay.
Brought my whole family out here,
Mhm.
and since I've been here, just been pounding the pavement. I've been meeting a lot of cool people.
Mhm.
I've been a part of a couple of projects already since I've been out here. Whether it was I was cam op or, yeah, pretty much I've been a cam op for these projects. And then just going to a lot of industry mixers and meeting a lot of people. So it's been actually a great experience.
Mhm.
I didn't foresee things to be moving as quickly as it has, but it's been going. Things been moving pretty fast for me, so that's cool.
Awesome, man. That's always good to hear, especially when you're in a new environment and you're trying to make things happen. You're trying to make new connections, and you're just trying to build yourself up, business wise, networking wise, friendship and relationship wise. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, you definitely want to get your feet off the ground and start moving and shaking out there. And it sounds like from what I've been able to gather, it sounds like you've been able to make some moves already.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying.
Yeah,
We're not trying. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're
you're
making.
doing it.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
making it happen.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to that point, you have a brand new film that you are now promoting, which is called The Pushover. You mentioned it earlier. It
Yes.
started off as a short film, but you have since turned that short film into a full length feature film. Can you talk a little bit about what The Pushover is about?
Sure. All right. So the pushover is about a guy. His name is Mike. He just got out of a rocky relationship. His friends, they hold an intervention in hopes of preventing women from walking all over him. Hence the
Mhm,
name, the pushover.
mhm,
And basically, it's something that you can look at both ways. It's about setting boundaries in a relationship, and if you don't set boundaries, like in the very beginning of the relationship, you leave room for the other person, to take advantage of you. You
mhm,
know, especially like when you're in the very beginning, where you're in the strong like phase, the strong like phase, and if you don't do that early enough, in a lot of situations, when you do finally put your foot down, then that's where the real conflict begins, because that person's they're not used to seeing you this particular way, so then it becomes, you know, an unsettling situation.
right, right. And
And
is this film a drama, a comedy, dramedy? What is it?
thank you. So yeah, it's a dramedy slash
Okay,
documentary, right? So
right.
how it's set up is, we have scenes, and actually, the actual okay, so the actual concept for the film, it's that's something that I came up with, right? It was just speaking on, like, touching on the situations where men may be in a situation where they've been a pushover, or they call it now a simp. You know what I'm saying? And but the concept, as far as like the structure of how I put it together, I actually got it from Tim Alexander. He has this film, came out, I believe, back in 2008. It was called Diary of a Tired Black Man.
Mm,
And basically, how the format is, and that's where I got the actual format from, was like where I would show actual scenes or clips where there's conflict in the film,
mhm,
to people at barbershops, salons, and just panels in general, just setting things up, meeting people, and then have them look at those scenes and then
mhm,
give feedback on those scenes. And not only that, but just ask them questions about relationships in general. And then we would put capture that and put that in between the narrative part. So you see the narrative part, then you'll see narrative feedback, until we get to the end, the conclusion of the film.
yeah, and we had talked offline about this, and I told you that that's a really brilliant way to portray a film, and
Thank you.
it allows for conversation to the enter the what you're talking about and what you're showcasing, and allows for us to talk, and just opens up dialogue, in real life, with relationships and how things should go, and how sometimes us men can be treated
Right, right, yeah. I mean,
and be viewed, in a certain light, and if we come across as weak, then we're the simp or we're the pushover.
right,
But a lot of times, a conversation needs to be had as to, you know, maybe they're not a simp or a pushover. Maybe they're just a genuine good guy. And
right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Because like the thing is, like, I think there's different levels of being a pushover or a simp, or whatever the case may be, because
Yeah.
it just depends. Like, there's certain people that they could be so involved and so engaged, and they're putting their all into that relationship, that their kindness is taken as a weakness, and that other person, like, they just misuse that person, because they know that, because in a relationship there's a power struggle. No
Yeah.
matter, I don't care what kind of relationship you're in. There's always a power struggle, like, especially in the very beginning, and it's
Uh,
usually the person that is loved the most is the person that wields the power, right? So,
mhm,
and it's up to that person to be judicious with their power, not to take advantage of that other person. It's like,
right.
you know when a girl is like feeling you more than you're feeling her, and it's like, you could depending on who you are as a person, you could dog her out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could treat her bad. You could be like, yeah, you know, not pick her up or something, or date
Right.
another girl, do this, whatever, behind her back, whatever the case may be. But if you're a person that does really cherish that relationship, you're gonna treat her like how you would want to be treated. You know, so
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's so yeah, so people. And again, I know people. I've seen people that have been pushovers. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Even to a certain degree, I've been a pushover to a certain degree. But
Yeah.
but you know what I'm
We've all
saying? But you know when you're young, you're doing silly things, and you know what I'm saying. But but there's things that happen in this film that where you see things and you're just like, wow, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe that happened. And
mhm.
so none of that happened to me, but I know people that had similar situations that
Right.
it's
Right.
been
Right. Right.
very bad. You know,
Yeah. No, we're not saying it's loosely based on your life.
no,
We're
it's
not.
definitely not loosely based on me at all. No, no, it's just things that I've seen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I was just like, wow, let me address this. You know, but again, it could go either way. It could be a woman being a pushover. It could be a man being a pushover or a
Yeah.
simp, or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Right. Right. And we've all been through those scenarios, and if we haven't, we know somebody, whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, sometimes too.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah. So
I
yeah.
mean, I've seen and heard some things where I didn't even put it in the film, but that you just like, wow, I can't believe this actually happened. You would think it's a movie, you know?
Right. Absolutely, man. Okay, so as the director of this film, what was your vision visually for the film? And when I say that, I know there's a documentary aspect to the film, and you can speak to that part as well, but also just the cinematic portion. What was your approach when you filmed it? Like, what was your vision as to how you wanted to approach it?
Okay, so my whole thing was for real. I just wanted it to be something that touched people. And when I say touch people, I mean like, all right, there's humor in it, but I also want people to see the seriousness of it, the realness of it. I wanted people to know that when they watch this film, it's something that they could identify with. So kind of so a lot of shots, to be honest, it was a lot of static shots. To be honest,
Hmm.
we had a few tracking shots here and there, but most of it is static shots. But I just wanted people just to sit and just like and be immersed with the characters and really understand like where everyone's coming from because like they have friends that are like trying to help them out, and
Hmm.
then you have the girl that's her name's Taisha that's played by Asia Antoinette, and
Hmm.
who's you're it's set up where you can see both sides, so it's not like okay she's all bad and he's all weak and all this other stuff. It's just like it's just different. I just set up in a way where you could have a way of looking at things where you could be like, I understand where she's coming from. I understand
Yeah.
where he's coming from, things of that sort. So my whole thing is just about when I shoot something, it's just about evoking feeling and also to 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 create a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Water cooler talk, as we said back in the day, water cooler talk,
Yeah.
where so we could say, all right, well, I think it's this way. I think it's that way. And then you could, you can
Yeah.
converse back and forth about that. Yeah.
Right, and that's the part about it being brilliant to me is in this age of social media and everybody being social, and there's a lot of commentary when it comes to films, especially if it's something that I wouldn't call it triggering, but it basically evokes something out of you and gets the conversation going. It's a conversation piece. Then it gets a lot of people talking, and for you to create a film that will get a lot of people talking, in my opinion, I think is brilliant.
Thank you.
And I also like the aspect that that you're going with. It kind of reminds me of, and it may not be anywhere in this vein, but
Mm-hmm.
the it's a series that comes to mind, and I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it was called The Affair, and
Yeah, it was on
it's on
HBO.
Showtime or HBO. Okay,
Yeah,
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 yeah, and it told both sides of the story,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like two different parts, but it was in one episode, and
Right, right.
I thought that was brilliant too.
It was. It was.
But
It was.
to your point, and with your project, you're showcasing what happens, and then you introduce the outside world. You show them that clip, and you get that commentary going. So when people watch the film, they can watch what's happening, and then they can get people's perception of it. And then once the film is over and you're driving home with your partner, or
Right.
whatever the case may be, you can continue that conversation and say, well, I agree with so and so, with what so and so said, and what, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's brilliant, man.
Thank you. And another thing we did too, we made sure that they don't. Everyone that saw the clips, everyone that we interviewed, none of
Mm-hmm.
them has seen the conclusion, so they don't know how it ends. They don't
Oh wow.
know how,
Yeah.
if there's a resolution. They don't know any of it. So all they're giving is their perspective of the conflict, the parts where there's actual, like, the banging of heads, so to speak. So yeah,
That's dope. Yeah.
so when we have the premiere, which is April 12th,
Uh-huh.
in Pasadena, Friday, April 12th, I believe that everyone's going to be in for a surprise. They're really going to enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, man. That's gonna be really dope. And it's also gonna be great for you to see those reactions in real time,
Right,
and
right.
just to see the reaction, the feedback that you get at the end of the film, and what people think about it. And again, you're gonna see that conversation happen amongst everybody in the audience after the fact, and it's just gonna carry over. So I really think that you have something there with that. How long did it take for you to film this project?
Great question. Okay, so all right, so we shot the narrative. We shot the narrative, like, I'll say, man, we shot the narrative like in 2 days.
Oh
Two,
wow, okay.
yeah, yeah. We were moving, right. So
Yeah,
in terms of, like, we had one day we had like almost like a 14-hour shoot, man. It was like a long day. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And and then the other one, it wasn't not as quite as long, but we shot it in like three three, four different locations, man, and we were just moving because we already knew what we wanted to do. My partner Darren C. Murray and I, we already had a shot list together and everything. We knew what kind of shots we were gonna have. We had rehearsals. So, like, for instance, like, Alvin Gray, who plays Mike,
Yeah.
Desi Alexander, who plays Tyreek, Daquan Rose, who plays Tony, James E. Ingram, who plays Mark. PJ Bean, or Patrick Bean Jr., who plays Craig, and Crystal Coates. All these people, April Harrison, they all like did their not research, did their homework. They, like, we had we had our reads, our table reads, and everything. So we did all this in advance. So we would do Zoom meetings, and we
Wow.
would go over the lines, and I'm like, no, try it this way, try it that way. Or they'll suggest something, and they'll be like, hey, I'm going to try it this way, I'm going to try it that way. And I'm like, all right, but let's see how it goes. And when they did
Mhm.
all that, that prepped us. So when it was time to actually shoot, everyone knew the lines, and we were just knocking it out. It
Mhm.
wasn't like we were waiting around for someone to get the lines correct.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope, man. How did you how did you go about casting? How did you know the right people to pick? In some cases, when you're dealing with independent films, sometimes they can be your friends, they can be other actors you already know. Was this one of those cases, or did you actually do a casting and
All
have people audition, and then you chose from
right,
there?
great question. Great
Yeah.
question. Okay, so as far as the person that's playing Mike,
Hmm.
Alvin Gray, I already wanted him to play Mike. I already wanted, because I've seen him. I've done work with him. He's done a series of movies. This guy, he's a working machine, right? So, but he has a series called Risky Business. So my friend Derek, my partner Darren, and I, we shot one of the episodes. We directed the second episode. Excuse me, the second episode of that series.
Hmm.
So I already knew he could act. So I wanted him to be the lead for that. Now, Desi Alexander, I've seen Desi Alexander in one of Alvin's films, and
Okay.
also he's a comedian that also does things on like on social media. He's a comedian. He tours with Just Hilarious. And but anyway, this guy he's funny. So how I got him? Well, not how I got him, but this is what I did. I heard that he was coming into town, like he was going, well, not in my town, but he was coming close enough where he was going to Arlington, Virginia, which is, like I said, about 50 minutes away from me or so, right? So I was like, yo, I gotta drive out there. I brought my wife with me. I was like, hey, just come with me. I'm gonna see him perform, and then I'm gonna try to rap to him afterwards. So when I met him, I made sure that after the show was over and after he's done with selling his merch, but you know, you don't want to. Somebody selling their merch, you don't want to be like, hey man, let me rap to you about something, yo. Exactly. Like, you don't know me for a can of paint. So I was like, all right, let me just sit back. So I just waited till the line dwindled down, you know what I'm saying? And then I rapped to him and I was letting him know what's up. And so I was like, yeah, man. So he was like, yeah, that's cool. And then I try to, you know, draw the connections. Like, yeah, you know, I work with Alvin. And he was like, yeah. So he was just like, so I was trying to get his number and he was just like, yeah, man, yeah, this inbox me. I was like, oh. Right. I was like, dang, man, this dude's not rocking with me. But I was like, all right, cool. So then I inboxed him and I spoke to Alvin, and Alvin was, and I was like, yo, Alvin, you think you could rap to him? You know what I'm saying? Let him know that I'm legit. You know what I'm saying? That I'm not gonna waste his time. But anyway, he did get back to me though. He did get back to me, and he was true to his word. And then I sent him the script. He's like, yo, I rock with it. And then from there, we start getting it in. In terms of everyone else, well, James, I was already gonna put James in it because James was in my first two shorts. James was in It Could Be You and A Good Night's Rest. And then, and in terms of the guy that played Daquan, he was actually playing. He was auditioning for one of my roles from my other films, but I liked him. But he was like, I liked him, and this is what it goes back to when they always talk about like actors to say, don't worry about booking the part. You know what I'm saying? Just you know what I'm saying? This do you know what's the saying? They say don't.
I don't know the saying per se, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So don't worry about booking the part, but it's just like just perform well. You know what I'm saying? I'm paraphrasing, but just like don't worry about booking the part, but just do your job at the audition, and then you'll do well. You know what I'm saying? And so I had him, and I was like, yo, I had him for something else with two different things because I have another project that I did with these three other ladies. We call it the Collective Writers Group, where we have a series that we have a 6-part series. So he was auditioning for that and one of my other films, and so. I was like, man, I like this guy. He's always done well. I just I'm bring him in on there. So that's how I got Daquan in. And then, and in terms of Asia, of course we did an audition for that, and we had to do like I had to do a callback between her and some other lady. You know what I'm saying? Because they both did well. And then we ultimately just went with Asia because I mean they both were good, but I was like I'm gonna go Asia. I just felt like, and then also she knew Alvin too, so it made things a lot more easier because it was like they would already have like a comfortability level, you know. Yes. Yeah. And then as far as PJ, he was like when we were shooting the pilot for my other series, which is called Blindsided, and that's with the three other ladies, Naka, Brittany, and Candace. He did a great job in that. I was like, he's got to play Craig. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we really got like the principal actors. That's how we did it for that.
Okay. So as you said earlier, the premiere is April 12th in Pasadena, California.
Yes.
Where do you already know where you're holding the venue?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be at AGBU. I don't know I forgot what the acronym is, but it's free parking. It's it's a really nice location. Open bar. It's gonna be food. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have the red carpet. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a photographer, videographer. We're gonna also have a raffle from the sponsors. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So it's
Yeah.
a Q&A. So it's gonna be an event. You know what I'm saying? So bring your
Yeah.
bring your loved ones, bring your significant other, bring your boys, bring your girls.
Right.
It's just gonna be a great event, and it's a nice social networking event as well prior to the actual film. So that's gonna be from 7 to roughly 8:20 or so, and before we have to get in, the theater at 8:30 to actually show the film. But it's
Okay.
gonna be
Yeah.
a great time. I mean, like I said, open bar. I mean, can't
Right.
lose. And I'm
You
gonna
got
have I'm gonna have tickets on sale. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have tickets on sale, and then and it's not overpriced or anything. So this is gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time for sure.
absolutely, but you got to be a little careful when it comes to open bar, man. Hopefully, is it open bar all night?
Okay, so this is how I have it set up, right?
Okay.
So it's gonna be from 7. I mean, we probably get out there like 11. So my whole thing is like, me personally, I'll have somebody out there,
Yeah.
but I really don't want people out there like when the movie's going to grab drinks, right? So
Yeah.
it'll probably be shut down, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, at that time, like when the movie starts, and then if
Reopen.
things, yeah, we'll open it back up, you know what I'm saying, maybe for like another, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes before we got to get out of there,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Maybe people can grab something to drink for the Q&A or something, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I have a few friends in LA that I could potentially I'll let them know about the event and maybe potentially see if they're able or available to come out and also show support. I'll tell them that's a big networking event as well. And yeah, it's always good to introduce new people, get that mixer going. Let new people know who you are,
Right.
that type of thing. And these are people who are already in the business, other actors, producers,
Awesome.
um, yeah, so on and so
Awesome.
forth. So I'll make sure that I put the good word out for you, brother.
Thank you, man. I'm gonna have my link out. I
Yeah,
actually have my link and everything. I have everything ready and everything, but I just want, there's a few things I want to put out there before I before I start, having a link. You know what I'm saying? Like the trailer and
yeah,
all that stuff. So the trailer is almost complete and everything. So, and then from there, once I have the trailer out, then I'll have the link so people could see what we're going to be watching, potentially watching. But now it's going to be a good time regardless. And like I said, it's a lot of cool people is going to be there.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm excited about the project.
yeah, definitely. I'm excited to watch the project and also to see the trailer first, watch the project, and just see how you were able to put everything together, man. Because it sounds really exciting. What were some of the hurdles that you ran into while filming this project, if any?
Oh yeah, I got a hurdle for you. One hurdle was, man, so we got like an Airbnb, right? We got an Airbnb, and so during the Airbnb, right, they 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 have like a thing like no events. Depending on what it says, they'll say like no events, no parties, and then they also have a thing where you say how many people are going to be in the actual location, right? And
Right.
so I did kind of break the rule, right? I mean, not kind of, I did break the rule, right? And so it wasn't an event, so it wasn't a party, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the amount of people that were there, it was a lot because we had like gaffers,
Yeah.
grips, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, a bunch of equipment and all this other stuff. So right in the middle of the shoot, the lady calls me, which, at the time, it's crazy because at the time, a lot of people kept saying, oh man, I would have been like, man, whatever, how can you prove it and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
But as the director, and the producer of the film, you know, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about how can I make sure that everyone's at ease and that people are not worried about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing was just like, okay, like, what do we need to do to settle this? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, all right, I do have people here. Yes, okay. Because she had like a Ring camera. The Ring, people were hitting the doorbell. So she kept seeing people coming in and out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my thing was just like, okay, what can we do to resolve the situation? Because she was thinking about like yeah, I don't know if I want to do. I don't want all these people in my house, and she was talking about shutting it down, and I was just
Mm.
like, yo, okay, yo. So I had to break off a little extra just
Yeah.
so we could, you know what I'm saying? Just so and yeah, I could have, and a lot like I had a couple people was like, oh man, you should have been like, oh man, how you know this, how you know that, and all the, but I was just like, my whole thing is like,
Right. You just want to
why
be constant.
risk it? It's
Right.
so much going on. Like to get the food together, to get the equipment together, to get this person to come here, that person to come here, to get everybody to come, come on set on time at one location of this particular day. It's just so much. So that was
Yeah.
one. The second thing was the second thing was there's a scene where it's supposed to be like a very attractive woman that walks across the street in the scene, right?
Uh-huh.
And so what happened was I had somebody in mind, and so
Mm.
this particular person was like, to shoot that scene. It was just like she was like, yeah, okay, I could do it, and then next you know, she'll be like, oh yeah, I can't make it, and then she'll be like, oh okay, I could do it this time, and then I'll be like, okay, cool, and then she'll be like, oh yeah, I can't make it, and then the time that we're supposed to set up, it would be like, oh, it would rain. You know what I'm saying? It would like rain. It would, and like Maryland, it just rains a lot, like during like spring and you know what I'm saying. So it would just rain. I was like, oh, we can't shoot this. We gotta postpone it. And so what I did was I was like, all right, let me get a backup. I was like, fine, let me get a backup. So I got a backup, and then she was like, okay, cool, I'll do it. And for this scene, I needed this a specific outfit, like pink,
Mhm.
pink top, fitted top, and like black tights or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But pink, it had to be pink because that's what it said in the script. You know what I'm saying, in the
Right.
description. So, and then she was like, yeah, I don't have pink, and so all this other stuff. And then anyway, so the day that we're supposed to shoot, it rains again. I mean, I'm talking about a week, and you gotta get everybody's schedule all together, and so it's
Yeah.
crazy. So finally, the day we're supposed to shoot, the lady was like, "Yeah, I can't make it. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I can't make it. I'm in Virginia."
The second girl.
No, the first one.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in Virginia. She's telling me she's in Virginia. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. I'm like, she's like, I can't. I'm trying to find clothes, but I don't. I can't find anything in the mall. I'm trying to find clothes in the mall and all this other stuff. And the other person, the backup, she couldn't come in that day.
Mm. Mm.
So, and I gotta get the scene done, right? Because
Yeah.
even though it's a short scene, it's a very like it's
Importance.
important scene. So
Yeah.
all right. So I reached out to my man Devlin, my man DC. So I reached out to him, and he was like, "Yo, I might know somebody." Boom, boom. He sent me this lady, and she was nice too. She was a very attractive woman as well.
Hmm.
So she was down, and we were corresponding, and she was just all for it. But it kept on raining. It kept on raining, so it kept on pushing it back. And then and this is just for this one scene. This one, like, it's crazy. So, all right, so the day that we're gonna do the scene, right? I was like, well, if I'm gonna do this scene, I might as well do these other scenes I need to do as well, and I'll
Yeah.
just stagger the times. And
Hmm.
so what happened was the time that we started shooting the other scenes, it took longer than we expected because we were shooting at Laurel Town Center, the Laurel Town Center, and I had already spoke to the property manager and everything, so we had the green light and everything.
Yeah.
But what happened? It ran over, and the lady, she was just like, she got impatient, and she left.
Man.
She left, bro. And so I had to reach out. So Asia was like, I know somebody, And so
Man.
Asia put me on to April Harrison, and April Harrison came in. She did a great job. She did a great job. So we
Yeah.
didn't lose anything.
Fourth time was the charm.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy, bro. I mean, because I was just like, I gotta get the scene, and I was just telling my man Darren, I was like, yo, I can't believe this is not happening, bro. I can't believe this is not happening. But it's
Yeah.
about perseverance, man, because it never goes right. I'm trying to tell you, anybody that's ever shot anything, you know what I'm saying, or who's aspired to shoot something, it doesn't
Yeah.
always, not everything goes right. There's always something that's going to go wrong. You just got to be able to pivot. That's it. You got to be able to pivot.
pivot, bounce back.
Yeah.
You know, keep your wits about yourself.
Yes. Be
Not panic.
resilient.
Yeah, be resilient, man. Yeah, for sure. Um, and we spoke about this also offline, but I wanted to ask you because it pertains to creating a film. How difficult was it, or is it, for you to create a budget and finance this project or a project?
Okay. All right. So that's a great question. So in terms of budget, man, man, I mean, I was out of pocket, bro. You know, I
Yeah,
stacked up money. I was out of pocket. But one thing I'll say also is another great thing is that I'm a person that gives of my time freely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not like going anywhere like, hey, yeah, come over here, come on. I mean, you know, I mean, but if you need help for me, if you need help with me, if you need help from me for your project, and we have good like synergy, I will
mhm,
work with you, and I mean, and I'll do depending on who it is, I'll do it free of cost, free of
yeah,
charge because I believe that you know you're supposed to help each other, pull each other up, you know. So
abs-
so
yeah,
fortunately, I've I paid my dues and I've been on a lot of people's projects for free, just helping out. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
um and so when it was time to call in those favors, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? There's certain people I didn't have to pay. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So and they were cool for it too because they know me. They know me and they rock with me. You know what I'm saying? So it was just one of those scenarios where that's what helped keep the budget lower than it could have been. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then a lot of other things that, for instance, like editing, my partner and I, we both edit, you know, and you know, and as far as like color grading, color correction, you know, he and I we do that as well, you know, and scoring because you know producer, you know what I'm saying. So so I'm
Yeah.
scoring it myself as well. Sound design, I'm doing that. So I'm saving so much money on because I'm doing
Right.
everything like not everything, but a lot of things in house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's how
Okay.
you keep the budget down.
Yeah.
And
And
then of
right.
course camera work, the camera and stuff like you know I got a red, I got you know what I'm saying I got my own camera, I got lights, I got man I got a bunch of stuff man, gimbals, all that stuff.
Yeah. So
So
you don't have to rent the equipment. You already
don't have to,
have the.
I didn't have to rent a darn thing man. No.
Now, did you do a lot of this run and gun, or you know, you said it was static, a lot of static shots. So
Yeah,
a lot of tripod, not so much gimbal,
we did a
or
little gimbal. We did a little gimbal for like a scene or so. Yeah,
okay, okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, no, it's always good to know, and just from the filmmaker aspect, kind of give some
And
insight.
handheld too. We did handheld too. We did a common. So we did handheld. We did tripod, and we did gimbal. You know,
Yeah,
we did gimbal for some tracking shots and stuff. So like even like the walking scene where the lady's walking, and then there's also scenes where, well, I don't want to ruin it, but there's some scenes where it requires some tracking shots. Yeah,
got it,
yeah,
got it. Okay.
yeah.
Um, Okay, so outside of the premiere,
Mhm.
when can the public expect to see the film?
That's the question, right? Because I'm going to actually have a screening in the DMV. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming back
Oh,
home, baby. I'm coming back home, right? So
yeah.
I'm going back to the DMV and have. So I haven't locked down a month or date yet. I'm thinking June. I'm thinking June.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking June though. But I'm going to have it in the DMV area, and because you know all the people that participated in the film, you know, some of them are not going to be able to make it out here. So
Right.
I understand that. So and I want them to you know share the experience with me as well. Now
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm going to do the open bar and all the others. I probably doubt that. I doubt that. But we'll have a screening though. We'll definitely
Right.
because
Yeah.
you know it comes straight out of the pocket for this. So I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there, I don't. And then on from there again, I'm deciding whether I'm deliberating whether or not like how I'm going to get it streamed and all that other stuff. Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay.
Man.
So you don't right now. You don't have any idea as to what platform that you want to put it on or anything like that.
No, I don't know. I was thinking
You
about
still
going
work. Yeah.
Film
You
Hub.
still
I don't even know to be honest.
okay. Well, we'll talk more offline,
All right.
because I might have an avenue for you, that might broaden the range and not necessarily just be on one platform. but it's something that we would have to figure out. I got to bring another friend of mine in that actually does um the film aggregator slash distribution portion of things, and we could figure something out.
That would be dope, man. I would appreciate that. And I know you
Yeah,
can't guarantee anything, but just a meeting would be dope, you know?
right. Absolutely. And
Mm.
at the end of the day, I'm all about connecting dots, man. So if I could provide a another resource or another outlet or another means for an opportunity, even if it's not this go around, it could be, somewhere down the road. And
Right.
now you guys know each other, familiar with each other, you know, and so be it. At the end of the day, I just want to make sure that it's helping our fellow brother and sister and somebody in our community actually get ahead, because that's what the goal is.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's super dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um Let me ask you this: what overall is your vision for your production company?
All right. My vision for my production company is to be a place, a sounding board for like um I want to say original material. You know, because this is the thing. There's a lot of you see a lot of retreads of films. Like you see them resurfacing films that it could be a TV show, it could be an old cartoon, it could be something, and they're like, all right, let's regurgitate that. Let's try
Yeah.
to make a movie out of this. Let's make a movie out of that. So for us, just authentic, like the authentic films, and television concepts, So that's what you could expect from my company, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is next for you, for Abdul T Sesay? What is next for you?
Okay, what's next? Okay, so man, I got quite a few features that I've written, man, and for real, they're really dope. And it's crazy because you're not supposed to say that, so you're supposed to be humble. And I am a humble person for the most part, But what I'm
Right.
saying, I got some stuff that I feel like the world wants to see, man, and so I have those projects. I also have a series that I'm still writing, and it's like a crime drama series, and it's man,
Okay.
it's pretty dope as well. And then again, I have this 6-part series called Blindsided that I wrote with the ladies that I mentioned earlier from my group called the Writers Collective.
Mhm.
And I didn't even mention this, but that's a group that I put together. Now, I don't want to say I put together, but that's a group that I reached out to a bunch of. This is how it happened. I put a post out on Facebook, and so when I
Mhm.
put the post out on Facebook, I reached out to, hey, does anybody want to collaborate? I'm looking for writers, and if you want to work on any kind of project, whether it's a sketch show, whether
Mhm.
it's a series of short stories, or whether you just want to write a TV series, whatever the case may be, and and then from there, a whole bunch of people just started hitting me up, and then I went through each and every person that reached out to me. I
Mhm.
spoke to them, and I spoke to them through the Facebook app, and I just spoke to them. And anybody that felt they had the good synergy, whatever the case may be, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna have a Zoom meeting, on this quote unquote date." And then people, we had about 8 people, and then it went from 8 to
Wow.
dwindle down to 4, and then
Okay.
but then from there we wrote.
Solid.
You
Yeah,
know what
you
I'm
guys are
saying?
solid
Yeah,
for.
yeah. And then after we wrote it, you know what I'm saying? We shot the pilot, and then we put our funds together. We shot the pilot, and
Wow.
then we had a second day shoot, and then we shot the sizzle reel. Mind you, one person lives in Waco, Texas. One person lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and the other
Mhm.
person lives in Jessup, Maryland. So we all met up in Baltimore and shot this, and we all did the casting together, and we did all, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, that's dope, man.
yeah,
And that just speaks to the fact that you could be anywhere in the world, anywhere in this country. You don't have to feel like I have to go to LA, I have to go to Atlanta, I have to go to New York, I have to go to these different places to make things happen. you can make things happen no matter where you're at. As long as you have the drive, the ambition, the talent, the consistency, to see it through until it's complete, you can actually get it done. And then once you have your project done, then you can begin to network and talk to people and let them know that you have this project. You can enter it into film festivals. You can join social media groups and
Yeah.
start mixers and meet people in person. There's
Facts.
all types of ways that you can connect to people. You can visit the Black Script. You can join the Black Script for
Yes.
free and
Yes.
join that community and begin to network with people in that community. But yeah, there's all types of ways that you can connect and actually make things happen. And that's why I'm glad to be able to talk to people like you who are actually making it happen, and be able to provide spotlight to what it is that you do and some of the projects that you're working on, and see where it takes you, man.
Yeah, man, I'm honored, man. I'm honored to be on your platform, man, and like I said, likewise, man. Like I'm honored to to know you, to have met you, and in person, and again, and I can't wait to see you, April 12th again. You know what I'm saying? We could
Yes.
chop it up. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a good time, man. We're gonna get nice, man. You know what I'm saying? Eat good, get nice, enjoy a
Yeah.
good movie. You know what I'm saying?
And while I'm out there, I'm definitely going to document. I'm definitely going to get content. I'm going to show you and the rest of the cast and everybody and the entire event in the best light that I possibly can, and help get your name out there, brother.
Hey man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, and I'm gonna do the same too, man. I'm like, hey man, you ever heard the Black Script, man? Man, you better
Yeah.
get on it, man. You late?
Right. Right. That's what we got to do, man. We got to lift
Yeah,
each other up, and
absolutely.
um, and then not only that, outside of just this event and being able to mention your name in several conversations and discussions, offline and behind closed doors and whatnot. Um, there's always going to be space to where I can reach back out to you and say, hey, I know if this person is looking for a producer or a production company. They're looking for people to actually produce their film. um,
Yeah.
Something that you might be interested in.
Oh yeah, all that,
Yeah, make
directing,
things.
producing,
Yeah.
writing, all that, man, all of that.
So this is the first conversation, well, really second, third conversation of many, and we're gonna
Absolutely.
keep things going, man. You know, I'm open. I'm available. I try to make myself. I try to stretch myself as much as I possibly can. Within reason, obviously.
Right.
Um, but yeah, if there's anything that I can do to help on my end with what I'm able to do and some of the things that I'm capable of, then that's what I'll do. Especially if I know that it'll help serve you, and you might be the right person for the job. You know what I'm saying? So
Likewise, bro.
yeah,
Likewise.
yeah. So
Likewise.
um, finally, at the end of the interview, I like to give all of my guests the final word, and that I allow my guests to say either a piece of advice that was given to them, words of encouragement, or a quote that you like to live by. You can say all three, or you can say one. It's up to you.
Okay. Well, one thing I would like to say is that you have to. I really believe that a person really should. Okay, I've been in situations where I've looked at someone and I was like, oh, this person, oh man, they're making moves and they're really getting things done and everything,
Mhm.
and and then and I'm talking about like the old me, and I used to be like, yo man, if I can get with this person, then they can help me take my stuff to this level and all this other stuff. But
Yeah.
what I want people to really understand is that that person 9 times out of 10 is not thinking about you, right? They're thinking about their next move, right? So in order for that person to see you, they have to see you as an equal. So you
Mhm.
have to find out. You got to pull it. Like I said before, instead of if you don't have resources, be resourceful. So you bring yourself up to that level where then they see you as an equal. So then you can do something where you can collaborate. But ultimately, it's just about what you have inside you. If you say you could do this, you can
Yeah.
do it, and just figure out how you do, to be resourceful. So that's one of the things that I really want to spread out to people. Be resourceful. If you don't have resources, be resourceful. You know what I'm saying? And also another thing is be willing to help others out before
Yeah.
you like you going out to somebody and be like, yeah, can I get this? Can I get that? How can I be of service to you? I mean,
Mm.
even says in the Bible, whoever wants to be a leader, you know what I'm saying, must be the first to serve. You know what I'm saying? I'm paraphrasing, but must be the servant of everyone or whatever. So that's the
Mm.
same thing. It's just like you have to say, all right, how can I help you? And then also when you do that, you don't do it with, all right, I helped you, so you got to get me back now. You got. Okay, where's my favor? Where's my nah? You don't do that. You give with the mindset that whether they help you in return or not, it will come back somehow, karma or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It will come back somehow. You might help somebody on set and they don't appreciate it, but that person that was on set with you be like, Dad, that was a cool brother or whatever, or that was a cool sister or whatever. Yo, I'm gonna see if I could do something with them. You know what I'm saying? And that could be the way that you could elevate with your career. So those
You
are
really,
things that I want people to think about.
yeah, you really never know, man. You never know who's watching, who's paying attention, who might keep you in the conversation, keep you in the loop.
Right.
Um, one last thing I always say is those that you see on the way up are those that you see on the way down.
That's a
So
fact, yo. That's a
you
fact.
absolutely have to treat everybody with the same level of respect. Uh,
Yes.
you can't look down on people. You can't view anything as beneath you because we all come from different walks of life, but we've all been at a low point. We've all been at a high point, and nothing is beneath you at the end of the day.
That's a fact.
So you have to treat everything with the utmost respect, and that's how respect is given back to you.
That's a
Um,
fact.
yeah, and yeah, man. I love those words of encouragement and knowledge, and it's the right advice, man. For real, it's
Thank
the
you.
right
Thank you,
advice.
man.
But yeah, without further ado, everybody, Abdul T. Sesay.
Yes. And oh yeah, real quick. Let me
Yeah,
give a
go ahead.
yeah. You can find me on what Instagram on
Yes.
what SA_LOAN pro, right? So that's
Hmm.
my Instagram. And then you can also find me on my website Salon. It's spelled SALOAN pro.com. That's my website. Because we also help with video marketing as well. So yeah,
Yep.
so yeah. So anybody you want to reach out. And April 12th, Friday, April 12th, red
April.
carpet, open bar, the pushover. It's gonna be live. Good food, great
Yes.
people. Let's do it. Red carpet. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Let's go, man. I'm excited. I'm
Me too,
excited.
bro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Abdul, man, it was really a pleasure to have you,
Likewise.
and I appreciate your time, your knowledge,
Appreciate
your
yours. Thank you, bro.
and just genuine conversation, man. I enjoyed it.
Likewise, bro.
Yeah.
Likewise.